Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the 28-piece limited edition Roger Dubuis Golden Square Tourbillon. Back in 2001, Roger Dubuis, then only 6 years old as a brand, inaugurated its own manufacture. Its full-fledged factory needs a full-fledged factory line of manufactured products, and that's exactly what you got with the 2001 Golden Square collection, of which the Roger Dubuis Golden Square Tourbillon was the flagship. The flagship on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, wears surprisingly well. Though it appears massive, it's actually a reasonable 40.5 millimeters side to side, not including the crown, only 13 millimeters thick, and in spite of the fact that it does look like a monolithic mass of precious metal, this is actually a fairly easy watch to fit underneath even a tight dress cuff. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is 53 millimeters, but here's the thing. The lugs are rather short cropped and tightly downturned. The caseback is cambered or curved, and the lugs themselves are so minimal that they seem to drape themselves as well as the strap around my wrist. The spacing between the lugs is a colossal 30 millimeters, as Roger Dubuis, under its then chief designer, CEO, and co-founder Carlos Diaz, realized that the broad lug spacing was one of the design hallmarks of modern watches and would become increasingly prevalent. The strap is held to the case using screw-fixed bars, which is both more expensive than spring bars and more secure. It's the right way to build a large, heavy, and valuable watch. The strap is perforated rather in the form of a racing strap, and you can see that that provides a little bit of ventilation, but it is a high-grade alligator leather rather than rubber or calfskin. You have gloss, large rectangular scale black alligator leather, a monotone stitch, a sheer-sided construction showing the copious leathers of calf and gator invested, perforations on the bottom. This is a brand new Roger Dubuis factory strap, no gouging, no crimping, no staining, no tears, and there is a matching white gold Roger Dubuis pin buckle in highly stylized form. Everything about this watch is highly stylized. You can see the case band with a vertical satin finish, which is a bit unusual, as most of the time satin finish is longitudinal, but it emphasizes the vaulted profile of the bezel, the sapphire, as well as the case back. You can see that the hoods of the lugs, while narrow, are polished for contrast, as is the lip of the bezel. In certain locations, you can see the contrast shows to good advantage. The sapphire, as you can see, is cambered and curved to match the arc of the case, and it sits over a mother-of-pearl dial with a grand date arrangement, as well as a power reserve indicator tracing the manually wound 60-hour power reserve. Now let's get real close. A lot of folks ask, why do Vacheron and Roger Dubuis both use what appear to be splayed spoke crosses on their tourbillon? Well, Vacheron uses the Maltese cross, Roger Dubuis uses the Celtic cross, or at least a common portrayal of the Celtic cross. You'll also note that unlike most Vacheron tourbillon, this one is a flying tourbillon, which has no upper bridge to obscure your view of the works. Not only is it completely visible, but you'll be glad it is, because its surface is entirely black polished with its edges chamfered. All screws are black polished with their slots chamfered and their circumference likewise chamfered. The power reserve indicator you can see is a classic up-down with a blued hand indicating, and then there are hand-painted lacquered numerals on the dial, that mother of pearl, creating a wonderful prism-like effect, a holographic 3D depth, as well as the component colors underneath, occasionally exploding forth in yellow, violet, green, blue, every color of the rainbow exploding out from a watch featuring white gold, mirror polished, highly stylized hands. There is a white gold aperture for the double-digit date up at 12 o'clock. Let's make sure we're out of the date change danger zone, and you can see there is a coaxial pusher in the crown that allows you to easily and rapidly index the double-digit date. The watch 30 meters water resistant, so it's not an aquatic timepiece, but immaculately finished. You can see a sign of a true manufacturer, the movement that is properly sized and shaped for the case. Caliber RD03, 5-position adjustment, 27 jewels, Geneva hallmark levels of finish, with micro Cote de Genève mirrored chamfer on the edge of every bridge. There's a double engine turning, small adjacent to the click spring, and then a larger on the base plate. You can see that the edges of every bridge, as well as the inverse, you can see the outline, the underlying bridge for the tourbillon is also the Celtic cross, and it has that same mirrored chamfering inside the tourbillon itself. The screws are the proverbial 50 Swiss franc screws because of the expense of finishing them to this level. These are screws that can take up to an hour to finish individually, even by an experienced hand. At center, if you look closely, you can see the wheel train features chamfered circumference as well as chamfered spokes. It's beautifully executed, it's relentlessly avant-garde, and it's a rare watch. With only 28 manufactured, this was the birth of Roger Dubuis as a true, full-fledged manufacturer. And I don't just mean movements, I mean escapements, hairsprings, and balance wheels. All of it in a watch that's relentlessly individualistic and emblematic of its mark. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox.